what's the greatest plane ever made in history? You don't get to
from pure speed, I would say SR-71. I think it's an engineering marvel that was actually developed in the 50s by Kelly Johnson, Skunk Works, for what that was able to do. And then when you get into history of it, how they actually built, the CIA actually made like 6 companies in order to buy the titanium from Russia to bring it back and build an airplane out of titanium that we would fly over Russia. To me, it's an incredible
engineering marvel.
I think that, like the X-15,
By the way, this SR, sorry to interrupt, the SR-71 still holds the speed record of any plane, as far as I can understand.
Yeah, what's funny when you get into it is remember, fast is relative. And when I say that, I mean, so if you're going 3,000 miles an hour, 100 feet above the ground, you're going 3,000 miles an hour through, that's how fast you're going. When you get up to altitude, there's an indicated airspeed and there's your ground speed. So your indicated airspeed is really how fast the air is going past your airplane. Well, the air is so thin up there, you may only be showing like 300 knots. But at 300 knots, you're really doing 2,500 miles an hour over the ground. So, like we would take the airplanes up to 50,000 feet when we had to do the maintenance check flights on them. So when you're doing 200, and some odd knots, it's actually slow for the airplane. It's, you're getting, it's kind of like, it's not, there's maneuvering speeds. That if I hit a certain speed in a Super Hornet, that I have the full capability of the airfoil. If I'm below that speed, I'm going to stall the airfoil before I get to the maximum G. Okay. So when you look at something like that, you go, well, is it really going fast? And when you look at an SR-71 that's flying upwards of, 70,000+ feet, the air's so thin, just like the X-15, you can get to a much higher speed, but the relative speed of the air going over you is actually relatively low. So the stresses on the airframe are not like they would be if you were down low. But because you're going fast to get enough air over your pitot-static system to show that you're going 300 knots, you're screaming. I mean, the fastest I ever got was I was with soon to be Vice Admiral White. So we had taken a check flight and I got it up to 1.78. I got a Super Hornet up to Mach 1.78, and we were right by Pebble Beach too. And then
what's that feel like? Or is it just like,
when you get that fast, to me, it got a little bit weird because you realize in your brain, and I did, that there's no out. If something happens, I can't eject. Yeah. The ejection would kill me.
Isn't that kind of liberating in a way? Or no? Or no, maybe not.
You always want to push the limit. It's like how fast I could have got it going faster. It was literally still accelerating when I stopped, but it was fuel limited and space limited because I'm off the coast of California, Big Sur, and I'm going, and I can see Pebble Beach out in the distance. The whole Monterey Peninsula.
You're just going,
and you're fast. Doing almost 18 miles a minute. I mean, you're screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have to turn. Well, the airplane didn't have anything on it. It was a slicked off Super Hornet. So it was basically just the airplane, no pylons, no pods, no nothing. And then we had to get it turned around because we got to go to the exit point for the area. And I'm trying to get it down below to subsonic. And there's a bunch of things that are disabled, like the speed brakes that normally we pop out when you're going that fast. They don't, because the Super Hornet really doesn't have speed brakes. It deforms the flight controls. They don't function. So you're trying to maneuver, and when you're going that fast, you can't turn because a 7G turn at 1.5 Mach is a pretty big turn. So it's crazy.
It's incredible that a human can do this. And a human can engineer the system which allows another human to control that system. It's
I think it's a great experience.
Was it sad to see the SR-71 go? I think it was during your career. I mean, do you guys romanticize the different planes?
We would see it flying when I was flying Hornets because West Coast flies in. It's called R-2508, which covers the Navy China Lake area and Edwards. It's a huge area. It's actually, I think we had a guy from Switzerland come out because they had Hornets, and he's like, "This is bigger than our whole country," because it's a pretty big area in California that you fly. But you would see the SR-71s. They had a loop because NASA was flying them out of Palmdale. And they would take off and they'd go up towards Washington State and Montana, and they do a loop. And so you'd see them coming back down. They descend out of, above 60,000. You'd see them, they get contrails, the white lines behind airplanes. Mm-hmm. And it'd come down and hit the tanker, and then they'd go back up. So it was cool to be able to see them in my lifetime flying. But I think with money, age, the advent of satellites, because they're everywhere now. I mean, you got commercial companies putting satellites up. How much of that need was really there? Because you got to remember when those things started in the 50s, Sputnik wasn't flying around. Right. It was the U-2 and the SR-71 that were out there doing that work. So at the time it was needed. It was if you think about it, really, it was an incredible feat of aviation for that time.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we have yet to pass that. And then you also ask, well, is there a need to pass that? I go, I don't know. We got stuff in space. So do we need to make an airplane that goes that fast? I think the next one is you get into the hypersonics where you don't have to put a person in. It does all kinds of crazy stuff.
The work with automation, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.